And we are back as the rotor turns on location, Austin, Echo, Heliops conference here with everybody's favorite Sweet Tea, aka Ed Roberto Tester, also known as Doughboy.
Plenty of names.
You've got like the most nicknames of anybody that works here.
Well, I'm special.
Well, you are. You're special. Robbie's my only original person left from the original rescue company one crew. Everybody else is either on the lam, in prison, running from the law.
Trying to become cops.
You know what? Justin is not an OG.
No, I guess not.
No, Justin, he came after. You know, like technically, Corey has more seniority than Justin does.
No, he should let him know about that.
Yeah, I do all the time. So, but we're here. You know, it's going to be in and out, little quick commentaries here and there. Hopefully, we'll get some other people to interview on there. And Jason is set up here in the middle of a lobby with a lot of what have yous and whatnots.
Yeah, I had to push an old lady down the stairs earlier.
Yep.
She got in my way.
And
you want to do that again?
No, don't fucking get in the way of the hippo. He's an animal. And you know, so lots of things going on. We did a pre-conference yesterday. We did normal cadaver lab that we do.
Yep.
I like the way you put it. It's just an abbreviation of kind of like the whole thing that we do, you know?
Yeah.
It's hard to do everything in the time frame that we had, but met some cool people yesterday.
Yeah, it was a good group. We had the feature flight crew in there, which was those guys were awesome. A bunch of guys that are girls who come through, did the training here with Echo, trying to get flight jobs. So it was neat getting them in there.
And you know, you came from the feature flight crew program.
Yeah. When first time I joined it, I was in the first class of it, and they said, "Hey, show up at this conference, help hand out T-shirts and food, and we'll give you a mentor." And so it's that's all it was. And they've really grown it a lot. Now those guys get like 16 weeks of training. They get mock interviews. They get interviews lined up with all the different vendors. So they've done a really good job growing it.
Now, when you did it, like the person they gave you as a mentor was like, did you still stay in touch with that person? Or?
Yeah. We chat from time to time. He's actually supposed to be here at the conference today. So I'm gonna try to hunt him down and meet up with him. Guy named Matt.
Matt, where do you work at?
He was with Duke at the time, and now he's flying here in Texas.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was, I think, one of the first groups of medics to get hired at Duke when they first brought medics on the team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting, man. People mixes from everywhere. You know, we're used to going to all the different flight conferences, and this has always been like a small little family type affair. But the level of education is high level, man. Like we just sat in airway management and hoisting class put on by Austin Travis.
Yeah, that guy did a great job. Definitely brought up some points that I wouldn't have necessarily thought through. So
yeah,
obviously those guys put their time into make sure they do it right.
High level of operation. You know, as far as the thing that with Echo that's amazing is it's for the regular line person,
right?
You know, like it's not. You don't have a lot of people selling helicopters here, and it's pretty big. Bigger vendor area than I've seen before, but you do actually have manufacturers and stuff with helicopters here.
Yeah.
Some of the, but really in reality is there ain't nobody buying helicopters here and all that stuff. We're just here to get educated. And the smaller companies kind of have a little bit better showcase here.
Right.
Yeah,
they do a really good job of that. And they do a great job of making it affordable too. So that way you don't have to burn a week's vacation and empty your bank account in order to come and get a good education.
It's a hard pack 3 days.
Yep.
Hard pack 3 days. I should have said, and I forgot to say it when we first started, this is going to be my opinion of me, Carlos Severis, not the opinion of Echo or Dr. Benjamin Abbo or anybody that employs the rescue company one or anything like that. So, Hip, what'd you think about yesterday in the class that we were doing?
I had a great time. Passing on some of that knowledge is one of the best things that we do. Seeing the different people, from different areas. And there was I had the BLS airway group, right?
Yeah.
And everybody coming over there and, I understand it. They're like, oh, yeah, BLS airway. But it was awesome to see the people that actually learned something, even on a BLS airway, station.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, well, I never thought of that, and it's just about looking at things a different way. Critical care nurses, all you guys, your level is so high that you're thinking about 50 steps ahead, but we still had to manage the patient initially. So it was pretty cool. I really like doing that station.
You know what's funny is that there's not many people here at the rescue company one that you can put into that airway station, that BLS station, other than Jason and Corey. Jason and Corey will have the most enthusiasm.
Yep.
Like you see, Jason was all jacked up over there. He's jumping around like he's boxing. He's boxing back and forth and stuff. But I told Jason yesterday, he thought I was fucking with him. I'm like, dude, people were loving Jason's station. The one lady, she flies over in New Orleans, and she was like, I've been doing this 12 years, and I learned some stuff in that BLS station, which is kind of cool, man, because you guys don't understand. For me as the CEO and stuff here, it's awesome to hear how well received the guys that work for me are, and girls. So that's awesome, man. And you got a lot of people love your station, man. And you were doing with iGels, King Tubes.
Yeah, iGel, King Tubes. We threw the capnography in there. We talked about that a little bit, but it's super basic, and that was truthfully one of the hardest things for everybody, is to bring it down to a super basic level. And once they were able to do that, then kind of streamlined pretty easily. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
We talked about it in my station at least yesterday. When do things go bad? ALS things go bad when the BLS isn't done.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
When the BLS stuff isn't done and stuff like that. So it's always interesting to try, just you do that whole rotation, and people, we progress into doing traumatic amputations and all kinds of stuff. And, but you still got to remember your OPAs and MPAs and stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah, absolutely.
It's hard enough for us to do that cadaver lab when we have 8 hours.
Yeah.
How was it in 2 hours?
It sucked. Yeah. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. It's so hard to get it all packed in there because you don't want them to miss anything. You don't want to you feel like you're robbing them or some shit when you don't. When you're doing, but it is just the taste. Robbie said you can't show the whole thing right off the bat. So
yeah, give them a little taste. Come back for the whole meal.
Yeah.
Speaking about that, because you just brought up something, and me and Amanda have talked about this in the office, and it's a little thing. I definitely think that the twist to what we do from it needs to progress to a lot of the self-study modules. Maybe we're going to deliver a lot more lecture-like information. Not so much live, but maybe a video format with interactive questions and stuff like that, like essay questions and stuff. You know what I mean? And just doing that, because I feel that when we have the live days, that we're robbed a little bit of the skills.
Yeah. Because we definitely got to get the material to the students and get them prepped for exams.
So the question is, and doing it here, obviously we're not live, but recording an extra day of class, or no, just pros and cons.
Robbie?
I think 6 days where we're at now is probably appropriate. I think as long as we just package it in a way that gives the information to the students, I think 6 is a good spot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that adding additional days is gonna make that big of a difference. I'm sure everyone would love that, but something I would really love to do is have the cadaver day an entire day, because we do our best to utilize it, but you run out of time. Like usually we're teaching in the morning and we're going over some things using the cadaver, but we're not actually diving into the cadaver fully. That could maybe be part of a day, and then the following day, all the 8 or 10 hours we could spend just dissecting that cadaver, utilizing every piece and breaking it all down, because I've learned so much from that. I know being a person that didn't have that opportunity so much, I would kill to go to cadaver lab. I love that, and we have it and we offer it, and the more time we have on that, the more we're going to utilize it.
I do think we are missing a lot. We're not fully utilizing it to the most, but in the classes where these people are taking an exam, I also feel that some of the lecture information that we can give when they're live, they'd be missing that also.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think when maybe something to consider is doing a lot of the lecture stuff. I know typically we do the cadaver early in the week, but giving them some of the meat and potatoes, so that way once we get to the cadaver, it's they can really they're not getting new information. We're reinforcing the information that's
They
already
already learned.
they've already
Yeah.
learned.
Yeah, and kind of like the SAR program that they're trying to get together. Yeah, they already have 7 or 8 weeks of work to do prior to coming to class.
Yeah.
But if we were able to take a lot of your lectures and put them in with that, maybe they have another week or two added to it where they actually see the videos that you're teaching, and then that way when they get there, we can do more hands-on. We can focus more on the questions that they have.
Yeah.
Like, hey, as you're doing this, as you're going through this, write your questions down and we can address all of them. That way we're, basically you're not starting from scratch when we start the class on Monday.
Yeah, and I think now with the having Brayley around who can answer stuff online and do a lot of these things, I think we're going to find that our base class, this Critical Care Transport Academy, is the base class that we can build upon in the online portion. The preparation phase, if you want to call it that. So for every class, because you figured that off of that information is where all the community paramedic information really needed comes out of that. So when we're doing the 5 community day paramedic days, actual live days, we're focusing on more of the assessment that they need to do for that and prepping them for their boards and doing that stuff. The flight class is getting built off the critical care class, right? And then the SAR class, that is definitely a lot more preparation goes into that, but that critical paramedic, and a lot of people forget that helicopter SAR class, the air medical week is part of. They have to come to that. That's part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So because that's where you're getting all your aviation safety and all that stuff. So even whether you're not a paramedic coming through, you still having to come through that class.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a lot of basic stuff that kind of goes into that. And then, what you guys will see this year, like you guys have been around in the company teaching, there's renewals and stuff like that you guys are going to have to be doing. Now you're coming up due, on Swiftwater and all those things that we haven't done. And, Robbie's going to be joining in on some of that stuff too, because now that he's a male nurse, he's done school with that. So
he's way more qualified.
Yeah.
I got to go actually practice putting in Foley, so I won't be able to swim.
Yeah. So, back to our original subject here, too, is that, Robbie was a future flight crew person, and at that point in time, how many years did you have on like the fire department and stuff?
I think I had like 9 years on. It was right before I got hired with in Orlando. So
yeah.
So I had 9 years of EMS and fire, had all my FPC, had all that stuff already. I was just looking to go network and try to just kind of get my foot in the door in the air medical industry because I didn't know anybody.
Yeah. And what's funny is that Robbie, the whole reason we ended up with Echo is just like we and you were working together one day and you guys not going to this conference, and all of a sudden, like within like a week period, we end up going to Chattanooga and then we went to Virginia, West Virginia.
Yeah.
And I think we've done it ever since,
Yeah, I think we've been to everyone. They had to cancel them because of the old
COVID.
But
we haven't missed one since. I think even the law enforcement one we did in West Palm.
Yeah.
We did a class over there with those guys.
So if for people that don't know anything about that program, can you kind of give us a summary of like how they would start it, how they like what all of it entails?
The future flight crew?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think now, and I'm not super up to date with it, but essentially they have an application period. You got to drop your application, drop your resume to them, and then they pick 12 to 15, I guess, students or future flight crew members. They're all working nurses, medics, RTs, and then they put them through a 16-week course where they do teach them critical care. They teach them aviation. They get together and workshop with different flight programs for a week at a time. They let them do fly-alongs. And then everything culminates with them coming to the conference and getting to sit through the conference, coming to the labs that we did. And then they did some mock interviews with the different vendors, whether it be Air Methods or Medtrans or PHI or whoever it may be. And then from there, they have a mentor with them also assigned. They go through the entire course with. And from there, they're kind of basically helping them get jobs. Speaking to one of the guys that runs the program, he said last year, They had 12 people come through the program, and 10 of them have flight jobs. So they're doing a good job of getting these guys and girls prep.
I had the website up right now, and it says that they're 85% with job placement within 2 years of graduating.
Yeah, see, there you go.
That's a really good, it's a really high number. And correct me if I'm wrong, but is Echo the one that is like in charge of the whole thing? And
yeah, so Echo's the one that really kind of started all this, and other conferences have kind of and organizations have piggybacked off of it and started their own things. But yeah, Echo was the OG for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And our beautiful doctor is actually on the website there too, showing off his skills.
He's on everybody's website. Kind of a little bit, wrap this little session up and stuff like that. Like you showed up here to this type of thing, 7 years.
About 7 years ago.
7 years ago, a medic, and now you're an RN working as a flight nurse, working as a flight medic, and it's just, is this what you envisioned?
I mean, it's obvious. It's been way cooler than what I thought it would be getting into it. I thoroughly love and enjoy my job, and I certainly would not go back to the fire service or go back to anywhere else. Right now, this is kind of, I feel like where I'm meant to be working right now.
Number one thing I miss from the fire service is the guys.
Oh yeah, definitely miss that.
The job and the culture where it's at now is kind of difficult to deal with it when things could be managed and handled better.
Yeah, it's a different world now than what it was even 5 or 6 years ago when I got out of it. So glad there's people out there willing to do it. I'm just not one of them anymore.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, Robbie, thank you for stopping by, and me and the Hippo see you in a bit.
All right, thank you guys.